and finding happiness within yourself, by yourself, with yourself, as opposed to when I find a partner, then I'm going to be happy. No, that is too much of a burden for that other person. Friends and family, welcome to another uncomfortable conversation with a married woman. In this episode, we're going to talk about finding life partners. Now, there are many things that we have to think about in life, right? As we come of age, we are getting into adulthood and we start to see a different perspective of life, trying to figure out what we're going to be, where we're going to live, what we're going to do. And one of the things that certain people, quite from an early age, think about is partners, right? Especially when you come from a household where you had a father and a mother in the same household. Or even if you didn't have a father and a mother in the same household, you wish for a pair of people like that who are connected to each other, who love each other, and you yearn for it. So let's talk about what that means when you're an adult and you start to think about those things. So that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. So go ahead and grab a drink, grab a snack. Let's talk. So I have several friends and family that are single or maybe have been engaged for years and are still not sure if they're with the right person, or they're not sure if they're going to find the right person. Now, one of the things that I've noticed about these people in my life that I love so dearly is that usually they have a list of the type of person they're looking for. They have to be of a certain build. They have to be of a certain height. They have to have some certain types of jobs. They have to like certain things or dislike certain things. It's a list, okay? And sometimes I think about it and I'm thinking, maybe you want to just ask God to create this person for you. Because I'm not sure how you're going to find a person with all those qualities. Okay, you may, but I just see a slim pickings out there if you're going to be that picky. I'm not saying you should have no idea of who you want to be with for life. I'm not saying that at all. I am just saying that when you actually have a list and you're going by that and you're checking, I feel like in a way you're restricting yourself and not opening yourself up to possibilities. For instance, so one of the criteria may be, the person has to be a Christian. Now, there are people that think the denominational churches are not Christians. Catholic, Anglican, Presbyterian, Baptist. I don't know, right? So if you think those people are not Christian and you feel like a person who's a non-denominational churchgoer is the Christian, then you have blocked out a whole bunch of people from being, possibly a life partner. I understand there are being some foundational key things that you definitely, want to make sure that you have. Because, for instance, if you're somebody who is you're somebody who prefers to live in a hot climate, and you end up with a partner that wants to be in a cold climate, at some point it's going to become a situation, right? So you have to think about those kinds of things. But those are fundamental things that will affect the fabric of your life if and when you decide to be life partners. So try not to restrict yourself in that way. I also feel like when you open your mind to possibilities, you get to learn more about other people, and you get to learn about things that you didn't think existed or things that you didn't think you would even like, right? And you begin to grow from learning more about situations that you have never been exposed to or things that you have never been exposed to. Again, I'm not talking about the negative things that can actually affect your life in a bad way. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about good, happy things. Okay. And one of the other things that I tell people who have this list and are, in a hurry to find the partner is timing is everything. When you have restricted yourself to a list and you're thinking, for instance, let's say you're a churchgoer and you only want somebody who goes to church. You're not going anywhere else. You don't go to anybody's parties, Thanksgiving gatherings. You're looking for this person at church. The kind of person that you're looking for, I promise you, even if they are churchgoers, they probably go other places as well, and you may meet them there, right? So you restricting yourself to only looking at a small window of churches, you might miss your lifetime partner. Other things like you have a timing. Some people have a timing. I have to be married by this age. I have to have my first child by this age. I want to blah, blah, blah by this age. Oh my gosh. Ugh. First of all, timing is out of your hands when it comes to those kinds of things. You have to understand it is out of your hands. What you want to do is pray for God's timing. When people say God's timing is the best, trust and believe it is true. God's timing is the best. You want to focus, you should be focusing on improving yourself rather than looking for somebody to fit into your lifestyle. Self-reflect, especially if you've had previous relationships that didn't work out. There are times when you've had relationships where you think, oh, this was the one, and it ended up they were not the one. Whether you were the one that decided they were not the one or they were the ones that decided, no, you are not the one. Either way, there are lessons in there that you have to learn. You have to self-reflect. Rather than, looking for who's going to be your life partner and having this list. Your list should be about how to improve yourself, who you are, how you are. You know what I mean? And finding happiness within yourself, by yourself, with yourself. As opposed to when I find a partner, then I'm going to be happy. No, that is too much of a burden for that other person. Nobody is responsible for your happiness in this life. Nobody but yourself. So when you have that list, you're almost saying, when I find somebody with all these traits, then I'm going to be happy. Then that person is going to make me happy. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a huge mistake. The other thing that I've realized is it's not a good thing to announce to everybody and their mother that you're looking for a life partner. First of all, if your possible life partner is within hearing shot of what you just said, they'll probably put their tail between their legs and run off because it's just something that scares a lot of people, right? They may also be looking for a life partner, but just saying it makes it seem like you're putting a whole lot of responsibility on that other person who you think should be a life partner. You're entrusting a lot of your happiness, a lot of your well-being, a lot of your emotional, soundness, your mind, everything on that person. It's too much. Don't tell anybody. You may be able to, I won't say don't tell anybody. You can, maybe a couple of people that you truly, truly, truly trust, that you feel are wise, that can give you some advice, or maybe they're in certain circles and they may meet certain people that they can think, this person and this person, yeah. There are certain people that have that matchmaking quality. So when they know you and they see somebody else with a certain character, they're like, yeah, these two people are going to gel. You know what I mean? Certain people like that. And I'm telling you, keep that list of people no more than the number of fingers on your hand. Don't tell a whole ton of people that you're looking for a life partner. Don't do that. Because there are some people that will just go and be spreading the news. Before you know it, everybody else is looking at you like, That person desperate. Yeah, he desperate. Yeah, she's desperate. No. You don't want to have that reputation. Find happiness in yourself, with yourself, by yourself, for yourself first. And I promise you, when you show that self-confidence and that happiness, that contentment with yourself, the right person will be attracted to you naturally. It's not going to be a matchmaking thing where somebody's forcing you together, or you're, looking at these dating sites and whatnot. Unless you're out to just, you want to have the experience of dating people from the internet and everything. I am so old school. That thought is, I don't want to call it an abomination for me, but I can't even fathom looking at what somebody has said about themselves to decide that, oh yeah, that's the person I want to hang out with, or that's the person I want to date. That's the person I want to see if they're a match for me. Because what you say and what you do, what you are different things. When I write about myself, I feel like I come across as egotistical and sometimes maybe even shallow, right? However, when you meet me, you will realize I'm a pretty dynamic person. I'm just saying, So putting yourself out there, and then of course there are predators, people that are out there just to have sex with you. They will con you and tell you everything you want to hear just to get you in bed in these dating situations and whatnot. You know what I mean? Then I've also heard that there are people out there that will put pictures of themselves like when they were in their prime of their lives, looking fantastic and smashing. And then when it comes time that you have to meet them, they are nothing like the picture that they put there. Some people probably even put other people's pictures other than themselves. It's a terrible thing. And I'm not knocking anybody who has found love that way. I am just saying I am so old school. I can't imagine using those kinds of tools to find love. I just can't. Do you know what I mean? I know we're in a new age and I need to come up, with the time. Like I need to just get in sync with the times. But that specific thing, I just cannot. I just can't. I meet all kinds of people everywhere, at work, grocery store, in church, at a party, at, going to pick up food from a restaurant. I just meet people everywhere. I don't feel the need to use an app. And I approach people when I feel like it. I'm not scared of talking to people, even strangers. I'm just not. But I can see if you are apprehensive of being out and talking to people, strangers and whatnot, then, you want to use an app and things like that. To each his own. I am just saying, though, that if you're going to use that, technology to find your life partner, just be careful. That's all I'm going to say about that. I've heard stories, and I've seen movies of stories. Okay. So my advice to you, try to be patient. In that time, while you're hoping to meet the right person, work on yourself and pray. Because you want to make sure that when you find that person, it's that person. And that you have the patience and the intelligence, emotional intelligence, to know that that's the right person. Because there are people who will meet their partners, get married, have children, and realize, ooh, I picked the wrong person. How about that? What you gonna do? Then it turns into a whole mess with divorces, and then finding somebody else, your partner, your ex-husband or wife finds somebody else. Then you have to deal with the exes and them and your children. And it's just a mess. You become somebody's stepmother or stepfather. All because you were in too much of a hurry to find the right person, and you found the wrong person and moved on anyway with that person because you were desperate. Don't do that. There is no hurry. I know with females, especially when they want to have children, they feel that their biological clock is ticking. Let me tell you what. There are sperm donors out there. Okay? Yes, they are. If it is about children, and that's what will make you happy, you don't need a partner. Go to the sperm bank. Go find yourself something. And do your thing. There's nothing wrong with being a single parent. Absolutely nothing wrong with being a single parent. And along the way, if you choose to go that route, along the way, that might even be the thing that makes you meet the right person who will not mind that you have a child, that you're a single mother. Okay? So all I am saying is, please take your time with this I'm looking for a life partner business situation. It does not matter how old you are. If there is somebody out there for you and you are working on yourself and praying hard, it will come to pass. It will happen. But you have to make sure that as you're working on yourself and you're praying, you're also listening and you're attentive. And if God is telling you certain things, speaking to you certain things, showing you certain things that you need to change or modify about your life, that you listen. You have to listen. You can't be rigid and be stuck in your ways and expect change and expect to be attractive to the right person. There are some people that have this self-consciousness, and I'm saying this in a negative way, like they are so conscious of themselves, they're anxious about everything and everybody. You ask you ask them, how are you doing? And they're like, oh, why do they want to know how I'm doing? What's wrong with them? What's wrong with me? Calm down. You're not that important. You may be important to yourself and to your mother and your father. But listen, it's a huge world with a ton of people in it. You're just a speck. So focus on working on yourself, on your heart, your confidence, your maturity, achieving what you want to achieve in life. Along the way, I promise you, you will meet your life partner along the way. But if you intentionally pause everything and you're looking, that's like a red flag for a lot of people. Okay, it's a red flag for a lot of people. So make sure that even if it is a desire of your heart, as much as possible, don't let it come out your mouth. Pray about it and trust and believe. Things will fall into place as they're meant to be if you're patient and you work on your heart and yourself and follow what you believe is God's will for your life, and things will fall into place. My story, I've told you in some of my videos, I was never looking to get married. And married, what? Who? What? I did have a criteria. It was a list, but at some point I'm like, yeah, no. But let me tell you what, I never kept that list. I remember writing it down, because the reason why I had to write it down was because folks were like, well, you know, you're of age. Shouldn't you be getting ready to get married and whatnot? No, I don't want to be married. They're like, what kind of a female doesn't want to get married? What do you mean? Just because I don't want to get married or don't want to have children, there's something wrong with me? How about you check yourself before you wreck yourself? I'm kidding. But for that reason, because people kept asking me that question, I wrote down, I'm like, this. I think it may have been 10 things. And in my mind, I was writing it down as in, it will be impossible to find somebody with all these qualities. And that is why I am not getting married. Period. So that's why I wrote that list. Not that I'm looking for somebody like that, but to say that it is impossible to find somebody like that. And so I'd rather be alone. And I just kept on going about my business. But guess who I met that had all the qualities except the one that I did not write down? And that was my husband. And one of the cautionary tales, when you write that list, how about if the person meets 5 out of 6 on your list, or 10 out of 12 on your list? Are they good enough? Is it going to be in the back of your head that, ooh, they didn't meet these qualities, so How about you yourself? What are your qualities that somebody else would desire? How about you write that? Write your list of qualities that may make you attractive to somebody else. Or your list of qualities that will not make you attractive to somebody else. And then you work on those things, right? Things that will make you a better person, that will make you like yourself and love yourself. Whenever I say that, my kids say I sound lonely. I'm like, you have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to have enough love to give to somebody else? I don't know. I can't fathom loving somebody else when you don't love yourself. I can't fathom it. My brain can't capture it. Maybe somebody can help me out. I don't know. I just can't. So all that to say, make sure that you are focusing on you, even when you're looking for somebody to be a life partner. Focus on the qualities within yourself that you need to improve, the things that you want to achieve in life. Start going for those things. It'll put you in certain circles where people of similar nature and character will be. They will be similar to you, going for the same things you're going for in your life. And before you know it, you will find your life partner. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm just trying to tell you, don't be rigid about this list situation and think, you're writing this list about who you want because you're perfect. You got everything that they will need. And so this is the list. Ooh, check, wrong, check. You're limiting yourself. Open up your mind. Be open to the possibilities that somebody's going to show you things in life that you have never known or thought about, that will just take you to another level in life where you'll be like, oh my goodness, I am so glad I know this person. I'm so glad they showed me this, because this has made me a better person, or this has improved my quality of life. You know what I mean? So just open yourself to possibilities and stop restricting yourself to a list. However, foundationally and fundamentally, there are certain things that can pull a couple apart, which is their beliefs. So things like that, absolutely, but that's not a list. That is something that's in your head. I need somebody who believes in God. You don't believe in God, I'm sorry. There's no amount of love that would put me together with somebody who does not believe in God. I'm sorry. I just can't fathom not believing in God. That's just me. So what I'm telling you is those kinds of fundamental things, beliefs, are part of the fabric of relationships. So if you don't have that, your relationship, that's the foundation that everything else will be built on. So yes, certain key things that are core in your life, you have to make sure that that person has that in their life. I was one of those people that when we start dating, I'm not changing my lifestyle for you. I go to church on Sundays. I go to choir practice on Thursdays. I blah, 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 blah. I continue to do it. You want to have a date on Sunday? I'm sorry, I'm going to church. You can come with me, and after that, we can go on a date. But I wasn't dropping church for a date. That was me. And some guys liked it and some didn't. And that was fine with me. I had no problem dropping you like a hot potato. You don't want to come to church with me? I'm not about to convince you. You have to want to come, because I want to go. Nobody convinced me to go. I wanted to go. So I'm not about to drag you anywhere. You know what I mean? So you have to think about those kinds of things. But again, it's not a list. It's about a person's character, their nature, right? And that's it. And there are some people that you may be interested in. Oh, Sunday football. I go nowhere on football Sunday. I'm going nowhere. So if you're dying, you're going to have to die, because I'm going nowhere on Sundays because I got to watch football. Advise yourself. Don't think you're going to get married and change them. You can't change a person. Only God can. So focus on yourself. Pray. Improve on yourself. Focus on your goals in life. Everything else will be added onto you. Hallelujah. Okay. So friends and family, that's all I have for you today. I hope I'm speaking to somebody. Nobody out there should be so desperate for a partner that they drop their beliefs for that person. Please don't do that. Unless you don't believe in anything and they believe in God or something that's attractive to you. That's different. But if you have strong beliefs, you may end up resenting your partner that you marry because you dropped them for that person, and you can't blame them for it. Okay? So that's all I have to say about that today. You guys are fantastic. Remember, in order to have a good relationship, you need to love yourself and respect yourself. And you need to love your partner and respect your partner. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in the very next video. Take care.